This. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Odudettes and Odudes. It's great to see you in good shape this morning. Good shape, at least for some of you. Before giving you a necessary boost of energy on this Friday morning, I want to thank you. I want to thank you, first of all, the partners. Without you, of course, this event is not even possible. I want to thank customers and prospects for coming over to talk to us, to get answers. And I want to thank my colleagues, the colleagues that did weeks and months of preparation, the people that stood behind the bar, behind the reception, the people that did the logistics and the infrastructure. Thank you very much for making this possible. I want to give you a hand. Thank you. Before you're going home this weekend to join your families and your friends, I want to give you a boost of energy. I want to make you dream. I want to bring you to the next level. You've been to presentations, you've been to sessions, discussions, exchanges of values and information. But we want to show you with two examples today, a combination of customers and partners that made themselves dream. And I want them to make you dream before you move home tonight. So allow me to introduce a combination that will really make you dream. They are out of Egypt, the CEO of Ariika, Mr. Hassan and Mo.
Hello.
Who made this dream come true. Mo from the partner Acme, also out of Egypt. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So before working the video, I would just like to give you a fair warning. It's actually in Arabic, but we've added the subtitles. And it's a documentary from Al Jazeera. They made a documentary about us, and this is the documentary. Please go ahead, play.
مشروع ريادي بمنتج جديد على سوق الأثاث المصري. مقاعد مبتكرة تسمى بالبين باجز، واسم الشركة المنتجة أريكا. في عام 2010 بدأت فكرة تصنيع البين باجز في مصر مع الشقيقين شهير وحسن رسلان وصديقهما خالد عطلة. البداية كانت بشكل تجريبي برأس مال حوالي 10,000 جنيه وبتصنيع محلي بسيط مع توزيع يقتصر على دائرة محدودة. وبعد أشهر من الدراسة الجيدة للسوق المصري ومدى تقبله للمنتج، يبدأ المشروع فعلياً في 2011 وتتعاقد الشركة مع الموزعين لتتسع دائرة البيع لتشمل البيع الإلكتروني والبيع لمحلات الآثاث والشركات الكبرى والتوزيع المباشر من خلال منافذ بيع الشركة وغيرها، مع تخطيط للتصدير للخليج والولايات المتحدة. تحقق أريكا معدلات نمو تخطت 200% سنوياً، وتنتج الآن 5 عائلات من مقاعد البين باجز، مع تخطيط لتوسع مستقبلي ليشمل نشاط الشركة منتجات أخرى.
So let me open up the presentation and officially introduce myself. My name is Hassan Arslan. I'm from Aleppo, Syria. I was born in the United States, and I lived most of my life in Syria. Then I moved to Egypt when I was 14. And ever since, I consider myself Egyptian because I really love the country. And so I started my first business when I was 19 years old, Ariika. Basically, we were just 3 college kids that wanted to become really independent in terms of financing themselves. So we started this project, me and my brother and our partner, Khaled Atallah. It was really interesting because when we started, when I was 19 years old, it really became like an obsession. And we started only with $800 as investment. Each one of us threw $200 from their pocket. We winded up with now we have an entire factory, and the company is valuated at $3 million. We started selling only on e-commerce. We didn't sell it was against the odds that we would make it because we're in a third world country, a developing country, Egypt, and people are not, they don't feel secure buying transactions on e-commerce, but yet we believed in the online sectors, and we were one of the main companies that really grew that industry. As I said, we've turned the valuation to $3 million valuation in 2016. This is our revenue. We're almost doubling year on year out. And of course, we've gained a lot of satisfied clients over the year. Some of the companies here you might know, like Uber, Pepsi, and Coca-Cola, Heineken, all those companies. We've created an entire new industry in the market where instead of those companies in Egypt, they sponsor beach events because in Egypt, when it comes down to summer, everyone goes to the North Coast. So the way they market their products is that they sponsor all the beaches, and instead of buying a $200 flag that a consumer could just look at and be wowed that this company or corporate is sponsoring the beach, instead they would buy a beanbag for almost 1/3 of the price, $60, and they would print their logos on those beanbags, and the consumer would come and actually use the beanbag. So if Uber is sponsoring a beach, you would have Uber Ariika made beanbags and sacks and floating beanbags. We've even gotten into a level where we created floating couches on the inside the water, and we've hung them with inside the sea. So we specialize in outdoors, indoors, and travel, basically. And here's a glimpse of our beanbags. We have more than 1,600 SKUs. I mean, this is a great story, right? But I mean, why am I on stage? I mean, I'm sure there's 1,000 more successful people than I am, and I'm sure that some people turned a few $1,000s into billions of dollars. You know how in the technology sector, businesses really grow. So the question is here, why am I on stage? Actually, I'm on stage because I have a very interesting story to tell you. And if you think this has a happy ending, you obviously haven't been paying attention, actually. Because 2016 hit. We started the business when it was 2011. And we were so excited about the revolution, right? 2011, the Egyptian revolution came in and freedom, right? And we were very excited. We started the business 2 months after the revolution, and we were studying the business while the revolution was going on. So it gave us a big boost because we spent 3 months in the curfew inside our homes studying the business before actually getting into it. But in 2016 came, and the Egyptian economic crisis happened, the devaluation of the Egyptian pound. It fell to almost 1/3 of its value. Can you imagine? If you have $1 million at the bank, you wake up the next day, you have $400,000, literally, just because of some bad governmental decisions. So in 2016, we doubled our business in terms of Egyptian currency, yet we lost 40% of our business in terms of dollars. So we made 10 million, for example, Egyptian pounds. We made 20 million Egyptian pounds. 10 million at 2015 was around $1.5 million, and 20 million in 2016 was around $800,000. So you can imagine our frustration. We were not comfortable, to say the least. So we decided to do something. We had to balance our books, right? We had to create multiple currencies. We had to have different revenue streams from different countries to balance the fluctuations. I mean, the great thing about the Middle East is that you can really high risk, high return. You can create big companies, and they would, because it's an untapped market, and there are a lot of market opportunities, but still you have a very big risk because it's an unstable region politically. So in 2015, I tried to implement Odoo on my own, but I desperately failed. I was playing the role of the CEO who does everything. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, you might know where I'm coming from. I really failed. I tried everything, but the problem is that when you're on your own and you're doing everything, I mean, don't get me wrong, we have 100 people working in our company now. But still, when you implement new projects, you try to take them on as yourself. And I failed when I did that until we found Acme. And I'm going to hand over so you can explain what you did to us.
Okay, thanks. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'd like to first thank Hassan for the nice words. Okay, what we did was an implementation that was quite challenging, because when I met Hassan, it was December of last year. It was just after the launch of Odoo 10. Actually, no, it was in October 2016. And one of the things he told me, he told me either we will go live on the 1st of Jan or I don't want to do this project. And this was quite challenging, you know, to take all this really, really fast and be able to be live and have all the books and invoices and everything recorded in the beginning of the year. But we successfully did that. And our first phase of the project, which took around 1.5 months, was CRM, MRP, inventory management, purchasing, and accounting, which was quite a lot of work to do in a very squeezed time. Later on, we started working on the multi-company environment because Hassan was launching his business in the UAE and in Saudi Arabia. So we started rolling out all the development that was done and the implementation of one company to the multi-company environment. And then we started implementing the HR modules and some customizations that we did related to the MTO, MTS rules and the supply chain rules mainly. Because the target at the end, we're looking to reach a point where, from the point where the customer would be entering on the website and pushing his order to the point where he gets the delivery at the end, everything is fully automated. And this is the vision of the company, and this is where we're going at the end. So the main target is to have all the orders accumulated from the B2B business or the e-commerce, and this is all pushed into manufacturing, pushed into warehouse management, purchasing, and at the end of the day, we are customizing right now a module to make all the deliveries fully automated and scheduled as per the fleet and the trucks and the schedule of these trucks that they have in the company. So that at the end of the day, everything will be fully automated from the click of the customer till the receipt of the product at home.
And this is very challenging, especially in Egypt. I mean, internet connection isn't very stable over there, and it gets really difficult when you try to train a lot of drivers and workers on an English system, and it becomes really challenging. But if we hit that sweet spot, we would be able to succeed in our vision, which Saada was saying.
As key success factors of this project, I would say what we managed to do well in that specific project is, okay, first of all, our customer involvement and being a project manager, Hassan himself, the CEO, was involved in each and every detail of what happened, and I think this is very, very important. I'm sure all the partners around here, they really know well that whenever you have a good project manager on the customer side, it really helps in succeeding the project. Also, we didn't jump into development or anything in the beginning. We just did the out-of-the-box solution. We delivered. We had everything live, up and running, and then after that, we started playing around and doing the customizations and all that stuff. We implemented one module at a time, but what I mean by that, it was like 3-4 days per module, so it was really, but all like in a serial kind of implementation style. And yeah, we used Odoo. Actually, one of the things, we installed the project manager on the database, the project management module on the database, so that we would be able to communicate with the clients. So everything was really handled on the Kanban and on the task management inside Odoo itself. We had a dedicated consultant for the project, and we really focused on the details. So I guess this is the reason why we happened to implement it so fast.
Yes, and after a while, the reason what I was going to say is that we've managed to have seamless integration between my departments. I mean, if the purchase order, if a sales order is created at one of my companies, an automated purchase order would be created in one of my other companies to match that SO. And as I said, in 2016, the economic devaluation of the Egyptian currency was very, very harsh. And I mean, we've achieved it, right? I mean, in 5 or less years, we've managed as 3 young Middle Eastern kids to become millionaires. That was our dream, to become, to have a company that is worth millions of dollars. But then again, we woke up, ironically speaking, we sold 10% of the company at that year. And by the time the money arrived, it was already worth one third of its value. So it was very interesting how we've gotten into that trouble. But given the fact that Odoo, I'll explain to you how Odoo came into play, because our vision was already at 2016, after the economic crisis, was to actually export to the Gulf. And Odoo just made it so much easier to do that. Really, I mean, you would have never been able to manage all those informations. We were using WooCommerce and QuickBooks before, and QuickBooks is just an accounting system, and WooCommerce is just a front-end system. But I would have never been able to manage my purchase orders, my inventory, reordering rules, and all those things using my old systems. So really, if you think about it, Odoo was really a bridge to us into ending the crisis that we had in our company and in our industry, because we had to get out of Egypt and diversify our income, because it was getting too unstable, and it still is. And by doing that, we're still planning to invest heavily in Egypt, but by acquiring new revenue streams from Middle Eastern countries, then we can really grow in a much larger scale. So let me tell you some of the other effects Odoo had on our decision-making process. Is that, for example, as I said, a lot of systems like Magento or Shopify or any other online systems, you can't really control the kind of fields that you want to add to your website very, very seamlessly and very easily. So for example, when we added states to our website, we've realized that in the area called New Cairo had literally almost more than 1/4 of our sales. And then we decided to open a store in that area. And the ROI was 3 times more than what we expected, because of the simple information on Odoo that enables you to do that. I mean, the fact that it really integrates well, sales and accounting, they really integrate well, and that's what we were encouraged to do. And in accounting as well, we've managed to save on costs, because I love the pivot table view when I go to journal items, and I managed to filter, for example, on the expenses of renting the cars. And then I would be able to find out each month how much it's costing me. And then I would be able to make a better decision making. Should I buy cars? Should I invest in that? Is my rent value too high? Is it too low? And it was just too good. So Odoo really helped us in terms of growth of revenue and effect on cost saving. Of course, that's putting aside the fact that it's really helped us expand. But the thing is that I feel like the Odoo team need to really realize one thing, that the clients, this is a client feedback, is that I see in their advertising, they always talk about how it's going to save you the cost of the salary of this accountant or that HR manager or whatever. But it really is about the opportunity cost. I mean, me as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, when I go out there and I don't have to think about how many POs or bills I have to reconcile with suppliers and do their receivables and payables, when I don't have to do that, I have the time to think about expanding my supply chain to China, or increasing the revenue streams in UAE, or even doing something as drastic as going to an investor and acquiring more funds to expand in a higher cost. So I feel like Odoo, in that perspective, is not really saving you the cost of $100 or $1,000 of salaries a month. It's enabling you to acquire $100,000 a month, because you're enabling yourself to have more free time and move around and get yourself bigger revenue streams. And it was really important for us, to corporatize in that period, because if we cannot corporatize, and we've gained that momentum, and we cannot corporatize and turn this into a large company, then we're going to really lose everything. And again, in terms of corporatization, you're going to have to manage your information. If you cannot manage your information, you will never be able to control it. If you can't manage it, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, basically. And Odoo enabled us to measure everything, basically. So what's Ariika's vision, and how does Odoo have a role in it? Ariika's vision is to become the biggest manufacturer of comfort, innovative-based products in the Middle East. And we're planning to, in the next 5 years, to enter at least 6 more markets. And Odoo's, obviously, as I said before, Odoo has a lot of ways to help that vision getting achieved. And one of the most interesting ones is that time saving, as I spoke about it before. Time saving is the biggest asset that you can gain from this system. So I guess in a way, Odoo was really, I mean, I don't feel like I'm a client. We always separate ourselves between clients and partners. But I don't feel like a client. I feel like an Odoo partner, because I feel like they really partnered up with me to help me increase my sales and to help me just increase the size of my empire. Thank you. If you have any questions. If you have any questions, please go ahead. No? No questions? All right. Thank you very much for your time.